So, I'm going to walk you through a day in my life of how I try to live a brain healthy life and how I use my diet to optimize my brain health goals. Everything I do is in meal planning. Have an idea Sunday about what you want to do for the week. Everything I try to do is to avoid processed food. What can I do to minimize my consumption of processed food? I'm going to say it's almost impossible to not have things that are processed, but I try to avoid it at all costs. And I try to optimize my fiber content. So, what is the ideal breakfast? A lot of fiber and a lot of protein. So, the two or three best things I'll say that would make the ideal breakfast: yogurt, even full fat yogurt, minimize the sugar in the yogurt. Personally, I hate the texture of yogurt, so I put chia seeds, I put berries in it, I put a little bit of granola in it. If you're not allergic to nuts, you can add nuts to it just to change the texture of the yogurt and the flavor of the yogurt. You can really make like a nice breakfast that's palatable with yogurt, even though, the base substance may not be palatable by itself. Yogurt is such a good go-to because it's also fast. It doesn't require like too much preparation in advance. I always go to yogurt when I'm rushing in the morning with my kids, and so it is definitely manageable. We love eggs, okay? Eggs are high in protein. You get a good fat composition from the eggs. They keep you full. You can make them scrambled. I like to make them hard boiled because then I can take it on the go and have it as a snack later. So hard boiled eggs is like an excellent breakfast and snack for me and my family. And then, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are oats. Not necessarily the instant oats because you lose some of the fiber by having them like chop it up into little pieces, even though it is faster. So that's a convenience part. But whole oats, when you make them traditionally, are really high in fiber, a good boost of protein, and I feel is the ideal breakfast for me and my family, and if you're trying to live a brain healthy diet. Okay, I'm a big snacker, so I have to have a late morning snack. I'm not going to make it to lunch. So berries, fast, easy. Apples, high in fiber, fast, easy. And they also help me address my sugar craving. Okay, so there are healthy ways to address your sugar craving. Dried fruit is okay. It is really high in sugar, but something like prunes, they do have a lot of fiber. So, dried fruit is okay as well. Lunch, I try to do a vegetable, something with vegetables in it, chopped salad. Chopped salad takes preparation to, have in advance, so you may not have the time to do a chopped salad, but, you could do something like a canned tuna and you get your omega-3 fatty acids in the tuna and you just throw it over some romaine and you sort of have like a pseudo tuna melt and you're still getting your vegetable for the afternoon. But I definitely try to get a portion of my vegetable in my lunch. For dinner, I do a lot of vegetables. I do something called rainbow plate. So I try to have multiple vegetables. And especially for the kids, they like carrots, red bell pepper, broccoli. And each one of these vegetables sort of addresses a different element of brain health. So the broccoli, for example, is very high in fiber. Broccoli is a cruciferous vegetable, and they have carcinogenic compounds in the cruciferous vegetables. Broccoli is several times a week on our dinner plates, whether it's steamed, roasted, or raw. Raw is the fastest, steam's pretty fast. None of this takes too much time. Like even I do it when I get home from work pretty quickly. And then the carrots and the red bell pepper, not so much on the fiber, but they have a lot of antioxidants, which is important for your mitochondrial function in your brain cells. So antioxidants are very important. And to get a variety, usually we say different colors have different antioxidants. So that's why I call it a rainbow plate. And then I try to have a good protein, whether it be quinoa, if I have more time to prepare, or grilled chicken. And then I usually do like a whole grain for the complex carbohydrate, whether it be rice. Quinoa also fulfills that category. Different whole wheat pastas are also very good. So that's usually my rainbow plate. It is very satiating, very palatable, very fulfilling. And then for dessert, kids have to have dessert. I'll do like a sorbet. You can even make your own sorbet, but different sorbets, or we'll do berries and whipped cream.
We hope you enjoyed this video. To access a free Mastering Brain Health course led by Dr. Richard Isaacson, visit ind.org/learn. And to directly contribute to IND's research efforts, visit ind.org/donate.